The other day I was driving to work listening to music. Generally I listen to older rock, but after listening to the same music for so long, you start to crave new. I flipped the channel to a newer pop station only to instantly regret my decision. I started flipping through every station, no matter the genre, looking for something new, and no matter where I looked, I heard the same thing. Auto-tune with a catchy beat. None of the music had passion, no love, no heart and soul, and it sucks. I remember a few years ago, I could jump onto these stations and maybe get 3 or 4 really decent songs a month. Now I'm lucky to like one within 3 months. You'd think people would get upset and stop buying this music, but when you look at it, the music appeals to the lowest common denominator. It's not offensive, it's got a catchy beat, and it sounds just the same as everything else. Why complain when there's nothing wrong? I moved past this and started looking for something to watch later in the day. I was browsing Netflix for a show or movie when I noticed the same thing. Either TV shows pandering to social norms or thoughtless shows made easy for everyone to view. Is this a bad thing? Well, perhaps not. The studio needs to make money, and this is a surefire way of doing so. Writing and directing a show that everyone can watch, that has enough variety for everyone, appealing to the lowest common denominator. It works. But then I started thinking about video games. It's gotten to the point where almost any AAA game you name, exclusive or otherwise, can simply be compared to another. Never played Red Dead Redemption? Just play GTA 5. Never played Uncharted? Just pick up Tomb Raider or Assassin's Creed. Mechanically, these games are all the same. The only difference is the story they tell, and I've been wondering if that story is worth it. If it's acceptable to copy and paste coding into an engine, make a new story, and sell it as a different game. Having conversations with my friends about this only solidifies how I've been starting to feel. Why is it a singer who makes the same song over and over, fills it with autotune, sex, and catchy beats you've heard 1,000 times can make millions of dollars, when an indie singer, who sings from the heart, tells a story, makes you feel something, doesn't make anything near that? I've always felt that if you work harder, you deserve more. There are top artists who have 13 people writing songs for them, and they all come out the same. It just doesn't seem right to me. The point I'm trying to make here is when it comes to innovation these days, you tend to see this from indies. When I buy a AAA game, it's more than likely going to be played one time and then never again. Most of the time I won't even make it through the whole game before I just stop playing and forget it even existed. I've done this numerous times with these titles, many because it was a game I played before. The Batman Arkham series is probably really good, but I played so much Assassin's Creed that I just don't see the point. The sad thing is, the Arkham games innovated the fighting mechanics that Assassin's Creed uses. It's not its fault every open world stealth game uses those mechanics, and yet here I am, bored of the fighting to the point I don't even care about the game anymore. Same with Battlefield. I love Battlefield 1942. I'd play that anytime, anywhere. But I've played so many Call of Duties and Halos that playing the newer renditions just aren't worth my time. I'm sure the games are great, and maybe I would like them, but when you have thousands of games to play, why would you waste your time on one you've already experienced? The ultimate question I keep asking myself is why are AAA games so expensive? Why do they ask so much, and do they deserve it? Other than the obvious answers like, well, it's a huge company with a lot of overhead, and a lot of them need that money to keep servers hosted. If we're just taking quality into account, why are they $60? I like to use the dollar per hour mentality where for every hour you play and enjoy a game, that is a dollar well spent. If you spend an hour not enjoying a game, that dollar does not count and the game has to make up for its full price with that system. With that system in mind, games like The Binding of Isaac, Garry's Mod, Chivalry, Rust, these are the games I spent the most time in. The only AAA game I've ever played over 100 hours in was GTA 5, because that game offers so much more than a simple story. These indie games, however, have character and uniqueness that you'd never see in a AAA game. And it's kind of strange to me because indies seem to have a, well, they aren't AAA, so they must suck stigma. To a lot of people, if you ask them the difference between a AAA title and a small studio or indie, they will most likely tell you that the AAA studio makes better games. I don't understand this, and I thoroughly disagree. When it comes to me, indies have successfully offered replayability, uniqueness, a real connection to the player, and almost never pandering to try to make anyone love them. And they do this time and time again, and I think I know why. These indies are made by people who love video games, and simply want to make a fun game themselves. I could elaborate on that, but I think it's pretty straightforward. Now, am I saying indie games should be sold for more money? Well, no, but I think AAA studios use, oh, we're AAA as an excuse to sell their games at $60+. If the Mean Greens had been made by Ubisoft, it would have probably sold for $40, but because it's an indie game, it sells for $10. See, I think games should be sold for what they're worth, not because one is made by a large corporation, but I want to make it clear that I'm not saying indie games need to sell for more either. I do, however, remember one smaller studio being the only one to ever sell a game at a AAA price tag, and that was No Man's Sky. This really annoys me because not only does it further the indie stigma, but it makes other indies reluctant to do so, even if their game is well worth that price. I just cannot understand why AAA studios can constantly sell us the same game we played 1,000 times, tack on day one DLC, microtransactions, pre-orders, and season passes, and sell them for so much when these games that are actually good, new, unique, interesting, and far more valuable have to be sold for less. If anything, indies should be on the pedestal. AAA's looking at them for help, but unfortunately, the AAA titles appeal to the lowest common denominator. The other day I was playing Portal. I love this game, but about halfway through I said to myself, when a game is so good it could be an indie. I was a little surprised that I had said that, but after some contemplation, I think it's a good saying that really captures the industry well as of recent. I love video games, I always have, and I'm not complaining about the titles available. With thousands of games to play, this would be a really selfish thing to do, and as annoying as it is to me, at least we're still not playing on those awful pocket consoles. Crappy games, no inspiration, and the batteries always died so fast. You know what's even more ironic? They took AAAs.